Welcome in, everybody. Hey, I did a little thing. Did you see my thing I did?
What you did?
I did a new open. We are live and on all sorts of different pages now. I
Woo!
expanded our horizon, girl.
I love me some Horizons Expanded.
You know, that's kind of what our show is about today. And steps to moving forward. I call them my Teri tools, but they can be your tools too.
That sounds like an infomercial.
Toxic situation. And I'm not saying relationship, it's just a toxic situation. You have moved on down the road, or maybe you're just launching into your life.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about the steps to moving into a more positive life. How do we do that?
That's a loaded question.
It is. Well, first we're going to say hello to some folks who are watching. Let's
Yes.
see. Michelle Henry. Hello, sunshine. Oh my Lord. We need some sunshine today. It's a scary, scary thing out there right now. If you're in Middle Tennessee, be careful.
I heard through the grapevine we're supposed to have some funky weather today, but I had no idea.
Yeah, it is. Wayne, it said this is his first time to catch us live. Wayne, it's so good to see you. It's so
Yes,
good to
welcome.
have you. And Elizabeth, morning, ladies. Elizabeth is our tried and true. God bless her. She has been there from day one. So we are going to take some notes as we do this today. So if you see me looking aside, I am. I love Elizabeth. Glad you came, Wayne. See, that's how we do. We take care of each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
That's our first.
shifting. That's right.
Namaste.
Shifting our life into a positive flow.
Well, one of the first things that I learned as far as just getting into a new life is journaling. And people get a journal and they get this fancy journal and it's a bunch of blank pages and they go into journal fear.
Mm-hmm.
They get all this pressure. A journal. So I use mine to write. I do my to-do list.
Mm-hmm. You can even doodle in them. A lot of times people will start with a journal and they don't know what to write because it can be a little overwhelming thinking about taking all those thoughts that are up here and putting them down on paper because then somehow they become a little more real, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell folks, doodle, do your to-do list in it if you need to or you want to, you know? But first and foremost, set an intention with it. Like, give your brain the opportunity to work for you instead of against you, especially when it changes behaviors and the way that we do our normal.
One of the things that I do, even I kind of combined vision board with my journal, and I'll cut things out of magazines,
Mm-hmm.
or I will I will have printed. I take pictures from my phone, but I'll go have them printed so I can stick them in the journal of something that I see that inspires me, something that I can plan on. And every day, and I go back and reread pages. One of the things that I do that is maybe different, but I go, as I complete a task, something that's positive. I complete a positive task, I put it in that book.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back and I go, you know what? I've made progress. Doing something positive used to be getting up and brushing my teeth and doing my hair and putting on a face and just and taking care of me.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone past brushing my teeth as a positive action. Hey, if that's your positive action.
Absolutely. It's okay. It's if brushing your teeth is a positive action, if taking out the trash is a positive action, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me just a moment. If you hear something that sounds like cellophane in the background, it's Otis, my puppy, who has decided that he has a new toy to chew on. So, uno momento, folks. Carry on. I'm gonna be right back.
Speaking of puppy, that is something else, whether it's a puppy, whether it's a pet, whether and if you're living in a pet, volunteering at a shelter, that is something else. Moving into a positive lifestyle. One of the
Mhm.
things that in the places where I've been, it's moving into a place that's bigger than yourself, devoting your time to taking care of children, pets, plants, something that is outside of you, to focus on. I'm going, not taking the focus off self-care. I'm not talking about that, but doing something that's outside of you that can launch into and go, wow, I've done something base. What are some of the things that you've done, Teri, that I know that you've done fostering for animals and things like that. You've got a new puppy, but for someone that's just starting out in this journey.
Well, the first thing would be, for someone that's just starting out in the journey, would be to find out what feels doable and what feels a little overwhelming. And I tell people a great way to discern this is if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm going to get into rescue. That sounds really good in the heart space, right? Because we're just like, that's a great thing. I'm going to, oh, the difference I'll make, and it's going to be so good. But really think about it, because it's time consuming and it is can be stressful, and there's a lot of responsibility to it. So if you're shifting into a place of whatever it is, of self-care and positive thinking, shift into something that feels doable to you.
Mm-hmm.
So um, for me, I'm a big fan of journaling. You know, I also, on the other end of the spectrum, is volunteering. That's not for everybody, but for me, I enjoy that. It creates, as you were saying just a second ago, it creates a larger heart space.
Mm-hmm.
Working on things, if people visualize it like this, if you had like a bicycle pump, right? And what can you pump into your heart that expands that heart out and allows you to um, grow and bloom and grow more and bloom more, thus creating a healthier, happy version of yourself, and going into being, as the phrase that I use a lot, a good steward for this gift of life that we have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We can, a good deed, if it's somehow fulfilling that empty space in you that you don't want to adjust or address. It's becoming a storm. So I've got my cat foster that's going nuts. So it's a day for that.
It's all good, right? I
It
mean, it's
is.
the world we live in right now. Speaking of positivity, we could both go sideways on, oh my gosh, this isn't perfect. Oh, what are people going to think? But you know what? It's life, and you
It
roll
is.
with it. And there's this radical sort of
Mm-hmm.
acceptance about, you know, can I change the fact that the puppy's chewing on a toy? Absolutely. A loud toy. Yes. Can you change the fact that the cat's howling behind you? Probably
Because
not.
there's thundering in the background and it's coming a
Yes,
storm. It is what it is, and it is okay.
absolutely.
Julie Malone has a shout out for us. My friend Bill Sinkay. This is fantastic. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for that word. And Elizabeth, if it isn't manageable, we won't do it. And the deeds like that. It's true. We won't.
Mhm.
We won't stick with it.
Absolutely.
I.
That's why I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions. I think if
Mhm,
people want to set intentions at the new year, and again, trust me, if you're a New Year's resolutioner, great, carry on. But I feel like from a brain place, resolutions are designed, they're designed with good intentions. We're
mhm,
going to change, we're going to shift, we're going to do all these great, healthy new things, or create new habits, new patterns. But at the same time, because our history with resolutions, if you haven't had a resolution that you've been able to maintain
mhm,
over years, then the brain goes, oh, here we go again with those resolutions, and no matter what the good intention is that you have behind it, you can easily and unconsciously think your way right into sabotaging it. So you have to be mindful with those things. I tell
mhm.
people, set intentions, which says I'm giving my brain a chance again to work with me. instead of against me.
A third thing that I do, and I think is really important, what is your intake? If your television shows, your music, your movies, your intake, if it is not positive, it can affect everything else. So, I read a story once of a young woman who she and her husband went to the doctor and they gave her terrible news. They said, "You have a year to live. You have cancer. It's everywhere. Just get your affairs in order. Bye bye, Felicia." That was it. And she said, "I could have stopped. I could have taken that." But she said, "You know what I did? Sabbatical from his job. I quit my job and we watched funny movies, funny things every day. We ate food that we loved. We said, what is on our list of things that we just never took the time for?" And then at the end of the year, she was still here. She went back to the doctor and the doctor said, "I don't know what to tell you, but I don't I don't find any cancer." I mean, that's how healing our intake can be, and our spending, what we do with our time. Our time is very valuable. Thoughts?
Absolutely. Our time and our energy are priceless. And guarding them, and not from a stingy standpoint, but guarding them with mindfulness about just how precious they are is huge. You know,
Mhm.
so what we absorb in is they're game changers for us, and that not just with our social media or with news or movies and things like that, but people. You know, people are a big one. That goes back to boundaries, which is a whole nother talk show. But what we take in, if we're creating space and time for positive, then it's going to create that within us. It's going to create opportunities um, to saturate, our brain with a new way. We're increasing muscle memory, right?
Mhm.
And we're increasing it with new healthy things. And I absolutely believe that we can take, of course, every individual is different, but we can take, um, whether it's mantras or intentions or affirmations, and if we truly believe in those things and shift the way that we are showing up in our normal, we can create, that peace of mind, that internal health.
Right.
You know, I mean, how can you not? How's your not in life not enriched if you're reducing stress? And you know, I mean, it's it's a win-win. Your heart space gets bigger, your stress is fewer or smaller.
You know, I look through my Netflix is a big one to bust you on what you've been watching because your history is like right there, then the you go, I go, boy, I can look at my life right there on my Netflix feed and go, I can tell where I was as I watched that. And I know that a lot of you you get busted by those little things. And it's okay that you do, but you can change that. It can be your funny and positive and surrounding yourself. Another thing is the endorphin boosters that you choose. There are all those people who go, "Oh, y'all, you got to walk every day. You've got to go to a gym every day. You got to do whatever every day." There are all sorts of ways to. It's for some people, it's going for a walk. But if you have terrible allergies, walking in the springtime may not be your jam. The dancing in your house may be your jam. That may be your thing. Going to a gym, I don't love. I mean, I'm gonna admit, I last year at the beginning of 2020, I joined a gym, and then there became a pandemic, and the gym closed down. So I felt like that was God talking to me. I said, "Okay, for a year, I've not darkened the door of that gym. That is not my thing." Does something for me that boost my it just makes me feel good being around farm animals, being around agriculture, green plants, dirt. That is something that boosts me. What about you?
Well, I am an anomaly. I love to clean house. So I will put on 70s music and just rock it while I'm cleaning. I will dance and I will sing. And I mean, sometimes, I mean, I really am. I'm doing my own risky business around the house. I'm like singing into the Swiffer and, because to me, that, I, when we get outside of that, being embarrassed to be in our own head, our own body, our own all of that, then we can have fun. I mean, I love, I work. So we do, yard work. I love cleaning a house. I love putting on music and just dancing in the house. And I also love taking my shoes off and going and sitting outside and making necklaces out of clover because I used to do that when I was little. And that brings up really good positive memories for me. So it's fun. I love a gym, but I'm not going to go in there right now breathing everybody else's breath right now. So, I do have an elliptical in my garage, which I think I've been on twice because I don't love it that much. I'll dance in the house to Pandora in the 70s,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
it can be little things.
yeah, it can be little things. I will say that there are a lot of people who go, man, my way to relax and feel good is to come home, pour me a tall drink of something that makes me just kind of woo. Notice that when that didn't work for everybody. That doesn't work for everybody. And some of the people who think it works for them, it may not. Because I always say that intake of films, books, positive thought processes, your actions, all that intake matters, your endorphin boosters. But remember that alcohol itself is a depressant
Hmm.
and it may not be giving you the boost that you need. And if you find yourself in a depressed mood, I will say that that is gasoline on a fire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another thing about the, what I call the drug of choice, the self medicating to kind of take the edge off. We have to be careful because, like you said, that edge that it's taking off sometimes is numbing us to possibilities of actually healing and working through things or being present. You might miss something that's really funny that you're watching if
Mm-hmm.
you're just kind of numbed out from
Mm-hmm.
life, you know. Um, and I mean, I would encourage anybody who is in a daily routine of doing something, even folks that wake up in the morning and the first thing they do is grab their phone to get on Facebook. That's a source of numbing out, but it really is. And one of the reasons I tell people this, the our anxiety levels in the last year with pandemic going on and everything have skyrocketed, but they were already getting high before we had a
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. And so that intake, what you're saying about intake is huge because if you start your day off with somebody belly aching about something, something, something on news or on social media, and I'm talking about in the first 5 minutes of waking up, if your thought process is, I need to see what's going on in the world before it's, I need to check in to see what's going on inside me, you need to do some adjusting, you know?
Absolutely. And you know what? If you're watching this and you think, wow, I've just been doing all this wrong, today you can start changing things. Intake for me, and something that is, this is a write it down thing. So let's go back over our list. Okay. Your journal. It can be something really treat. I mean, just something you write down, maybe write down steps of things positive that you've done that day. Doodle, collect pictures, collect magazine things that encourage you. Anything that you have that is like, oh man, this was great. Find something that's bigger than yourself to focus on, but don't let that become the whole filler.
Exactly.
Intake positive, intake positive. Then choose the right endorphin boosters, the things that work
Hmm.
for you, the things that you will. Okay, now we're at number 5. You got one to throw in there to create
Outtake.
a new positive life? What do you think? Uh, oh, that's a scary one. Made me drop my coffee.
Yeah, outtake positive. Because here's the thing, how many times, if we're being really honest and clear, how many times are we around somebody or we're seeing something that maybe we post or someone starts a conversation, whether it's a friend, somebody on social media, whatever, and we jump into that place of ickiness, well, I don't know. I mean, I just think blah, 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 kind of thing. Our outtake. What are our thoughts? Our thoughts become, what is it that there's a saying out there, and I can't call it to mind right as it goes, but it's something along the lines of our thoughts become um, our thoughts become our beliefs, become our actions, become our words. And so that outtake that we're putting out, if it doesn't feel in alignment with what you truly are wanting to achieve or the person that you see yourself as and you're wanting to bloom into, then nip it in the butt. Don't, I mean, it doesn't have to go past the thought when we're talking about output, you know. And trust me, we live in a world where everybody's got an opinion about something. And we've all heard if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. But we live also in a world where there's a lot of conflict and a lot of people trying to poke the bear and a lot of people wanting your input on certain things. If it's something that you don't want to give input on because you feel like it's going to be triggering or activating to you, then just politely decline and step away from it.
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff. Number 6, be gentle with yourself. Give yourself the compliment you wish someone else would give you. Give yourself the positive reinforcement you wish that you had gotten as a child. If there's something in your list, in your little hurt person, that says, I wish someone would say, you're good at this. I wish someone would say that I was wonderful. I wish someone, talk to yourself that way at least once a day. Be gentle with yourself and realize how far you've come.
Absolutely. So I have a challenge for everybody. Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. I don't know who's listening because I can't see the comments, but I'm going to invite, I'm not going to challenge, I'm going to invite everyone because I'm being gentle here. I'm going to invite everyone to to give a compliment about something that you like about yourself or that you're good at. And I'll even start. I just had this conversation with a client today. I'm good at the job that I do because I know that my head and my heart are in the right space when I'm working with clients. And when I'm talking about in I don't doubt at all that I'm good at what I do. Now, some people say, well, that sounds like an ego. That's okay if it sounds that way. That's a belief and a knowing that I have. So you go next, Devon, if you so choose to take on the challenge. And then anybody down there that's listening, if they want to just comment in there, what's something that they like, they believe in about themselves, they
Right.
trust about themselves.
Oh, I love this. Okay. In the comments, if you're watching right now, wherever you're watching, in the comments, give yourself a compliment. Give yourself a real and truthful compliment. Um, I have a gift of listening for people. I am a good listener. I draw people into a conversation. That's why I do what I do. Um, so I'm a good listener. And so let's be gentle with ourselves. Let's share these compliments. Oh, I love, but I got to tell you right now, Bernie Berlin, I love her and she is watching right now. Okay, I can give Bernie a compliment. She loves beautifully. She loves without walls. She's a great lover of people and spirit and life. So love is her superpower. Oh, I love it. Suzanne says, I have the gift of helping others. I have the gift of helping others. That's a good thing. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I encourage everybody. Okay, anybody who's watching, let's give each other. We can give each other compliments all day long. I always say the people who say I'm not going to give myself a compliment because it's ego, but we'll be very quick to go, wow. I look awful today. Lord, will say, oh my gosh, I look like I haven't slept in 3 years. Okay, I'm just preaching to the choir here because I probably haven't slept in 3 years. But oh, I love Candy. I have the gift of helping calm people down. I was just told recently by a friend I was good at listening. There you go. I love that. And I will say that if you watch Candy's lives, she has this beautiful page. One of them that I follow more often than any of the other ones. She's got several, but the Deliberately You page and her group, I can listen to her. Just calm me down. You're right, Candy. That is your superpower, helping calm people down. Elizabeth, I'm good at talking with people about their variety and recovery. Oh, what a gift.
What a gift. Yep.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I will say that my friend Bill, who joined us, he's in California right now, and I don't know if he's still part of our show right now or not, but Bill has been a musician, a stellar musician, all his life. And he went back and got certified in hypnotherapy because he has a beautiful gift with people. He's an incredible gift with listening and people. Brian, you're a good talker too. Well, true. I will say, if I had been good at that, I probably wouldn't have done what I do for a living either. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's great, Elizabeth. I love how this group, when we meet here every Wednesday at noon, there's a lot of edification. There's a lot of building up of each other. And
absolutely,
I love that. Oh, Katie says, I'm also good at encouraging people. True.
There you go. So seeing it feels good. It feels good. Many times we'll give ourselves less than compliments or less than, that's not even a compliment if it's less than, but we'll give ourselves sort of a halfway pat on the back about something, but we won't own it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with owning it. There's a big difference in being grateful and appreciative of a talent, a gift, a calling that you have burden with it, and telling everybody in the world that I'm the best at it, and just really driving it home. There's a gentleness around an acknowledgement and a gratitude for what you have and for recognizing that in others. And if you can recognize it in others, you have to be willing to acknowledge it in yourself. Otherwise, we're not really being transparent. I mean, there's tons of people that can't take compliments.
Yeah.
And right, people will say, I don't really like a compliment, but I'll give them all day long. And I'm like, well, if you give them all day long, you better be carving out a place to accept them back. Because basically what happens, if you're giving compliments to people and if you genuinely mean it, and then someone gives one back to you and you go, oh no, I mean, I don't, that's real nice and all, but I don't really think yada yada. Basically what you've just done is told that person who's giving you a compliment that you don't believe what they're saying, that they're just full of crap. Really.
You've removed the blessing.
Absolutely.
You've removed the blessing from them. They wanted to do something nice. Oh, by the way, Steve, and I hope I'm saying your name right, Reem. Steve is a premier hypnotherapist here in Nashville, and incredible work. Two that have joined us today, my friend Bill Simke out in California, and then Steve as well. So I'm so glad that you're watching, Steve, and so glad you're part of it. One day I want to get him on the show to be part and talk a little bit about what he does, and he and Bill as well. Bernie, I love Devon for Loving Heart. She's an amazing human and the kindest friend. Love you, Bernie, and thank you for that compliment. Brian Whitney, who runs one of the most incredible music organizations in the world, Just Plain Folk. You are interested in the other person, which is even better than listening. Ah, see, that is the key, is actually listening to people. That's important. I didn't
Right.
used to like accepting compliments either, but I had to learn to say thank you because I had to own that too.
Hmm.
Oh man, that's good.
Well, and that's that thing about, the preaching to the choir. Like if we're in a space where we're going to suggest or invite other people to lean into being, then we have to really hold that mirror up to ourselves and see if
Mhm.
we're willing to do that. Um, there's a thin line there, between some people we're good at giving advice, but we don't want to take it, and I've said that to
Mhm.
clients before. I'm like, sometimes I'm my own worst enemy, I get that. And I
Mhm.
acknowledge that, and then I work with that because we're human beings. So we're constantly, none of us have all the answers and, have everything, you know, we're not guru status here. So, I mean, I'm just saying, but that there is a healing balm to going, you know what? Yeah, today I'm a solid 8. Some days I'm a solid 10. And every once in a while, you're going to have a day where you're going to be a solid 3, but it's okay. You're
Mhm.
going to be gentle with yourself. You're going to be accepting and loving of yourself. You're going to take those compliments and you're going to ask for help when you need it. And then you're going to carry on with life, right?
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, Bernie, I love what she says about herself. I'm a good and loving person, a healer, and someone who wants to do good. This topic is perfect for what I've been working on. Thank you for this. And thank you for saying that because we do not spend a lot of time in advance with these topics. Every morning on Wednesday, I pray about it and I say, God, what have you got for us today? And incoming today was, okay, you got to packed up. You got moved out of the toxicity. They know what that is. Now tell them how to go have themselves a good life. And that's what today is about. And today, if the takeaway is how to give yourself a good compliment. Um,
Absolutely.
we're going a little bit long today, but it's because you guys are into this conversation, and that's what we want. Wayne says, "That's me. Everyone asks me for advice. I give great advice, but I have a problem making my own. I'm working on it." Hey, that's good. You're working on it. That is awesome.
Absolutely.
And Steve says, I'm everywhere. My clients are global. Good point, because we do live in a place like that. And so, Steve, if you would put in the comments, so if there are people who actually, I'm getting some private messages right now. People said, I didn't realize I could get in touch with someone here. And today is our pet day. We brought our pets to work because we are working in our bedrooms. And
I'm like, today is bring your pet to work day. Otis is in the back, all of his 12-week-old self just barking and carrying on. I'm like, yeah, well, it is what it is.
it is what it is. Hey,
And
Steve,
he's full of joy.
if Steve will put down, and Bill, if you're still watching, you guys put down how we can get in touch with you because people are very interested in their messaging me. Oh my God, I didn't know we had somebody we could call. My Mona, you ladies bring
Mona.
inspiration.
I love me some Mona.
And then let's see, Elizabeth, everything all come on now. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. May the luck of the Irish be with you. Yeah, the luck of the Irish. The Irish, as my grandma used
The
to say.
Arsh.
The Irish, yeah. Let's see. Make sure. Oh, y'all that are watching, Steve, his information is there,
Yeah.
NashvilleHypnosis.com. And you can get him there or steverehm.com. ROEHNM. And let's see. I saved your site, Steve. So see, there you go. That's what we're doing here. We're kind of sharing what we do. And Elizabeth wanted to respond to Wayne, and I want to make sure that we close with that. You are great advice, Wayne, and you do it in an understandable way. I think she's talking to Wayne. She might be talking to us. I don't know. But We're just glad that you guys showed up today. This is Launch Day.
Absolutely.
We are here every Wednesday at noon to help you launch into a better you and a better life. It's just every day can be delicious.
Every day is yummy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every day is yummy. I appreciate you all listening and joining in with us today.
And I'm going to see and get this play. I did a little intro, and I'm going to see if it plays.
Okay. Oh, look at us.
Yeah. Well, the music didn't play. I don't know why the music didn't save. Well, that's because I did it right before this, and I was feeling kind of creative. But I'll do a better one. So we'll actually have music to intro and outro what we do. Every day is
just
delicious.
moving on up in the world. That's right. That's
Take that
right.
with you guys. Have a great day, everybody. And if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, keep your eyes on the skies. Bye.
Absolutely. And increase the peace.